Cafe connoisseurs, today is a good day.
Things that I know that God is attached to.
We have the one and only Syleena Johnson.
That's where my joy lies.
Difference maker is what you think about yourself.
Hello, somebody.
Not what everybody
I
else.
wanted to be a doctor. That song made me walk out of that relationship.
You chose the right field, man.
For I have cancer, and this song is the song that ministered to me. Maybe I can be curvy and get away with being fine.
What would you tell that 25-year-old Syleena?
I would tell her to believe in herself, no matter what.
Next on the Health Mastery Café.
Hey, it's Dr. Contessa, and you are watching the Health Mastery Café with Dr. Dave.
Now, many of you know Syleena Johnson. She's a woman of many talents. And this is not like on LinkedIn, right? People put on everything that they ever did in life. Hey, I'm an accountant. I'm an entrepreneur. I took the garbage out and all that, you know. This is real. That is a talent. Ask my wife. I never do it. But most of you will know her as a Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter. But also a TV host. That's where we met. We met on a show called The Sister Circle. I also want you to know her as an author, mother, a daughter, and, as it turns out, one of the most fierce, passionate individuals when it comes to health and lifestyle. I call her Songbird. Please welcome to the cafe, everybody, the most unforgettable songbird, Miss Syleena Johnson. Yeah.
Can I take that and take that down to my show?
You got it. Okay. You got it. It's yours.
Exactly.
You got it. It's yours. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here, Dr. Dave. This is so amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so excited and elated to see you in this space, because I always say, you know, and I used to say our sister, when is Dr. Dave coming back? He is so smart.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm
No, I
just really
appreciate that.
excited to see you in the space too, because you're just so much information to give. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. That is very encouraging. And you know, we've been trying to get you on since the beginning of the show, and we made that thing happen.
Yes.
I want people to start to really understand why I want you on the show.
Okay.
And talk about a lot of things. Before we get started, we always ask our guests, what's in your cup? I drink a variety of things. Today, it just happens to be bergamot tea.
Okay.
What's in your cup?
It's not tea. Am I allowed to say?
You are allowed to say.
It is early.
Yeah.
But it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And cheers. Salud.
Just say that.
That's
okay?
it. Good. And
It is champagne.
as soon as we get done, I'm going to join you.
You see, it's courtesy of the Health Mastery.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Health Mastery Café.
So I don't know that people realize that you're trained in music. You actually went to school for music. And I think it takes that to be able to have that dynamic range, the textures that you can come with. I mean, a lot of people know one of the songs you're, famous for with Kanye, but then you turn around and you do this. Y'all, this last album, you just dropped this in August.
I did.
Legacy, y'all, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor right now and go and start streaming this. Wherever you stream, Legacy, this was really special to you because this was for your dad.
Yeah,
This was a tribute to Dad.
that is correct.
Tell me more about that.
So, Dr. Dave knows my dad.
Yeah.
He was my dad's doctor. Many people don't know that. When my father was, when we flew my dad down here, he was, having the heart issues and stuff like that. And he was
Yeah.
kind of in his last moments or whatever. So, just my father and I have been kind of like Ike and Tina, our whole life. But musically, he is the only one. Him and my Uncle Jimmy actually were the only ones, but him mainly, obviously, because he's my father, were the only ones that I really had a real connection with in terms of music.
Music, that's where it came from.
So no one else in the family, all the people on my dad's side. So like my grandfather taught all of his, my dad and all his brothers and sisters how to play instruments.
Yeah.
They're from Holland Springs, Mississippi. And my dad actually stole some cotton.
Stole some cotton.
Stole some cotton and sold it.
Yeah.
This is the story. And so he can get money to come to Chicago because his mom and brothers had already left. And they grew up in a cotton field. Like they were literally picking cotton.
Yeah.
And so my dad, when he was younger, when he was like 12 or 13, I think he stole, him and another one of my dad's brothers, they stole cotton and sold it so they can go to Chicago. And that's where the blues began,
and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Syleena Johnson laid it down.
Exactly. But I wanted to, so my dad was one of the most sampled artists of all time. He's been sampled over 1,000 times.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that by everybody.
Yeah.
From Kanye to Jay-Z to Will Smith to Michael Jackson to everybody.
Wow.
And so he spent a lot of time in court suing people, which is I think attributed to the stressors of his life. But what I wanted to do with this Legacy album was sample him on every single record, rightfully so, considering that we own the estate now. Yeah. And so I wanted to sample him the proper way, like he's supposed to. Not saying that the way he was sampled before was improper. Right. You know,
they just made fork over some of that loot a little bit.
Let me show you how to get down.
Yeah.
So it's an homage to him to show the similarities in our gift, you know, and to just, I don't know, kind of close that unfinished or unsettled energy that my father and I had when he was here. Yeah. You know? And even in his passing, he was, I don't want to call it death yet. I don't even know what you call that. But he was in the bed and he was getting ready to go into that phase of, they call it, my sister calls it transition. Or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was playing one of his songs on the TV thing, and I was singing along, and he goes, "Beautiful," and then that was it. Wow. And I remember saying to him, "I forgive you. I hope you forgive me," in hopes that he heard it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really able to kind of speak back. Yeah. So this album was kind of the thing that, closed the gap for me. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, and you had the foresight to do it in the right time.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, being with patients in those times, I know he heard it. Yeah. Right? Remember, there is a different, existence apart from the physical existence. And that part will show himself. And I have a similar experience with my mother who passed on. They don't go that far. Look out for your father. He's going to show up in a very unique way.
Oh, God.
Look out for you. And it's going to be good, though. It's going to be good. He probably got the, and because, and I love that you did it. I mean, a number of these tracks, right? I mean, especially the first one, right? Black Balloon, when you hear that tenor voice hit, I mean, it's just so good. Y'all, did I say go stream this right now? The second track, Black Balloon. There's a lot more to sort of say about that, but I wanted to get into, before we talk more about music industry, why, in part, Dad may not have been as present, let's say, was the music industry. But before we get there, I want to turn just a little bit to this, because here's a picture.
She's sharp, ain't she?
Man!
She was bad.
Now we're going to put this up for y'all.
She's coming back.
Tell me what you think of when you see her.
A pain.
It was a pain. You were a pain. Or it was painful. Or you were in pain.
No, it was a painful process because, but it was joy, pain and joy, and strength. I didn't know I was this strong, meaning mentally, because I've been trained my whole life. I've been a 3-sport athlete. You train basketball, tennis, track, all that stuff. But this was a different experience at 42 years old.
42 years old.
42 years old.
You went out to compete, or were you just doing it and somebody said, "Hey, let's compete"?
No.
That was your goal.
This was my goal.
I am going to compete.
When I was in my 20s, I had a trainer in Chicago who was a competitor, and I came to him in my 20s and I asked him to do it. And he was like, "You're not going to be able to do it because, it takes way too much focus and it's way too hard and you're going to give up." Basically discouraged.
You can't do it. Right.
So I just was like, "Oh, okay." But then being on Sister Circle, which I miss dearly.
Yeah.
But being on Sister Circle, there was such a woman empowerment piece to it. And because I was already starting to do it before I had started filming Sister Circle, or, started doing Sister Circle because it was live, I just said, you know what? The one thing that's going to make me be accountable are Black women. I'm going to announce it on this TV.
That's it.
And if I don't do it, I'm going to look a mess.
That's right.
So
a national accountability partner. right
Set
there on the
myself
spot.
up. Yep. Sure
And
did.
boy, oh
And
boy,
they got
did
me
you.
there.
Yes.
They got me there, yeah.
So tell me what you said the pain, it was a pain doing it. You don't mean just physical pain, but there was some physical pain.
The physical pain was, so about 3 months or 2 months into the training, I wasn't properly recovering from my workouts. Now, interestingly enough, I used to be I was a yoga instructor before this.
Okay.
I taught hot yoga. So that was most of the working out that I did was basically I would go to hot yoga. I didn't even really go to gyms much. I would teach and then I would do the yoga.
Right.
Really something that stemmed from Bikram.
Okay.
This was like
Bikram yoga. Yeah.
So that was my love, and that was really into yoga, and that was my thing.
Yeah.
So, which is a recovery piece, but I abandoned that in order to.
So the yoga itself is a recovery piece,
It's a
but you
recovery
went,
piece,
yes,
But
yes.
because I wanted to be in the mindset of, if he say eat oatmeal 5 times a day, I'm gonna eat oatmeal 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And I think that for him, he didn't really think that I was gonna just stop recovering. He felt like, oh well, she's a yoga, she's a yoga,
Yeah.
so she's
gonna keep doing it, right?
Right? But
Totally different message than you got 20 years before that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and at first he didn't even think I was going to do it either, which I kind of like that though. I like when people doubt me.
Yeah, it's the best
makes me go
motivator,
real
isn't
crazy.
it? Yeah.
So, I was in recovery, and my back went out. My back went out. I already had sciatica, a history of it, so that the whole leg went numb.
Oh, wow.
All the way down to the foot.
Yes.
And then I strained my calf muscle trying to stretch.
On that same side.
On the same side. And I thought I was dying. I thought I had an embolism.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
had to go to the hospital because when you're 40, if your eyelash fall off,
Yeah.
your hand could be hurt.
Yeah.
For no reason, wake up and your hands hurt.
Yeah.
So I thought I was dying, and I went to my doctors, and my doctor was nervous. He's like, "Well, you need to go get an ultrasound and make sure it's not a blood clot." So I had to go get an ultrasound.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I just had
a tear or
I don't want to say it was a slip disc, herniated disc.
Oh, you mean the disc, not the
Herniated
muscle.
disc,
Okay,
correct.
yeah.
Which was pressing on the L1, whatever.
Yeah, that's sciatic nerve. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was what was causing. So I had to do physical therapy,
Yep.
stretch your back and all that stuff, and then
Decompress it. Yep.
Yeah. So it took me what should have taken me maybe 5 months or 4 months or maybe even 6, took me 9.
9 months to recover from that.
Yes.
So that stalled
9 months to
the
get
training.
from one place to this. I
Oh,
was touring at the same time. I
yes.
was filming Sister Circle at the same time, and I was filming the documentary on this, which is called One Stage to the Next, that documented this entire process.
Yeah.
That was on TV1. And then I was filming Making Up a Woman with my Woman album at the same time. And I had a tour in Africa at the same time.
Wow.
And my sister was diagnosed with cancer at the same time. So it was just a lot of pain, anguish. But to get to this point, you can't buy back that moment.
Yeah.
That discipline.
That felt amazing.
Yeah, man. Just constantly just not succumbing to whatever outside entities were trying to stop you.
Right.
So it makes you strong.
I mean, think about that. Had you not been showing yourself that resiliency, all of those things happening at the same time could be, that could take a different toll.
Take you down. So, again, Sister Circle was my accountability partner.
Yeah.
And it was not just the viewership, but it was also my
the
cast
sisters.
members and,
absolutely.
production. And so they were looking for it. Everyone, Selena's got her little meals and she's got to go sit in the little corner. And I would do the exact same things every time. And I would get up.
And it was contagious. They started doing stuff, working out. Everybody's doing it. You were doing push-ups. Like, what y'all doing? Push-ups.
Literally, week by week, she literally transformed her whole body right in front of us.
Yeah.
And from week to week, she would come in looking like a completely different person. I was like,
And this was like 2013, 2014. When
it
was amazing.
2019.
Because right after I competed,
the pandemic. And that's when that's right.
For another one, the Linda Murphy one.
Yeah.
And then the whole world shut down.
Yeah. No, I remember that. And I think Tegna made the wrong decision.
Huge.
That show, there's nothing like it. And I still to this day think that they should
It would have
bring
thrived
that
in
back.
that moment.
There's no question.
There was so much social
And no
injustice
question about it.
happening and everything that was
When the
killing
world shut
us.
down, what can you do? Go watch this show that's going to
TV.
give you some inspiration and some education.
Well, when the goal wasn't to educate and inspire from the higher up,
Yes.
for people that look like us,
Right.
then it didn't matter
Right.
when it was.
You couldn't exploit a certain caricature and that kind of thing. It just didn't fit with
Especially if
their.
You don't even find it valuable.
Yeah. But the whole audience did. You seriously, and all the guests that y'all kept getting over and over again.
It was like a family place, and just the coolest thing about Sister Circle that I loved, it showed Black people not just as celebrities, but superstars in the community,
In the community,
world.
yes.
Doctors, chefs, lawyers, authors, babies with companies,
Yes.
entrepreneurs,
Yes.
business.
Yes.
Like it was just
Yes.
a well of. It was the right representation of our people.
It was as diverse and varied as we are.
Yes.
And again, they made a big mistake. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's what this is, right?
Yeah.
We've got to take opportunities for you to keep doing that. And those shows that you just named help us continue to shine that light.
And shows like this.
Exactly. And shows like this, thank God. There was a moment though, because I read in your book, The Wait is Over. Everybody pick this up. The wait is over. There was a turning point in your life where everything seemed, this was a different turning point, where everything seemed to be coming to a most unwanted head, right? You talk about Kiwan and how he was an anchor at a time that was so critical for you.
Yeah.
Take us back to that piece. Is that where you started making the decision in your head? I've got to be healthier. Is that when you started focusing on health, lifestyle, myself? Is that when that happened?
No, actually, but yet no and yes.
Yeah.
So before Kiwan, before Syleena Johnson, before any of that, I used to work out in the basement with my mom as a kid.
Oh, you
with
always did.
leotards on as a baby.
Yeah.
And watch Jane Fonda and what was it? Austin? What was her name? Jane Austen or something like that. But it was the Richard Simmons, all of those videos, the DVDs.
Yep.
I used to do those when I was a kid. I've just always been
You always
fascinated
loved working out.
with working out. Denise Austin.
Yes.
Denise Austin was my girl.
Yeah.
And I was just always fascinated with working out. And my sister, when she had her baby, her first baby, my older sister, she was trying to get her body back. And so that's what kind of introduced me to the tapes, to the VHSs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how we, they can't tell how old we are. We don't need to tell them either.
But I was down to the VHS.
Yeah, right. Like down to the circle.
Exactly. But as a kid, and my dad was he had just turned Muslim. So he was, long story short, he was just a big health nut. So there was no pork, there was no smell. He just stopped everything. So he used to make these vegetables. And I was just enamored by my dad because he was a singer and he used to drink tea all the time. And now I understand, oh God, he used to make zucchini dishes and salmon croquettes. While my mother's on the other side making, chitlins, macaroni and cheese, the mashed potatoes, all of the terrible stuff.
Right. All at the same time. Yeah.
So I kind of was introduced to health and wellness at a young age, but not really very, I didn't really know a lot about it, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and then as I became a recording artist, I was in sports. So sports is sports. When you're doing sports, you're doing exactly what you're told. You're not counting calories. You're not doing anything. You're just doing what you're told. And when you're a kid, you're eating whatever because your metabolism is a certain way, so it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
So I was a 3-sport athlete, just very active. While I'm doing that, I'm in the band, I'm in the this, I'm in the church. I'm just doing 90
You always
days.
had like all the plates spinning at the same time.
I'm a hay mom. I have a lot of jobs. But I wanted to be a doctor.
Is that right?
I did not want to be a
You
singer.
chose the right field, baby. Let me tell you. Thank you, God, that you didn't let her do that.
I could not do it.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And I realized me having to tell patients that your person is gone every other day, sometimes 3-4 times a day.
Yep.
no thank
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a very special man.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you are ordained by
Yeah.
the Lord.
I will
Because
take that euphemism.
let me tell you something, I'll be at the hospital like this. Oh,
Yes.
we
No.
tried.
I know. That's right.
Families will be broken. I will have lawsuits left and right.
That's right.
But I was always into health and wellness. And so, after sports, it was, and then you go into recording artists. So now I'm thinking, oh, well, I know how to maintain my body. But I got to Jive Records. Now I'm 5'10", 165, 75 pounds.
Right.
In the hood, I'm popping.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
size
Exactly.
18.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
from my popping.
Right.
No, I get to Jive Records, honey. They say, "Oh well, you're not small enough. You're too big."
They wanted you smaller.
They wanted me because think of my counterparts, Ashanti, the Beyoncés of the world. They're all very short
and
they were
petite.
very small.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to model because I thought, I was tall enough to do it.
Sure.
But the straight size models are zeros and twos because they have to be able to fit sample sizes. Now I did eventually become a model. I signed with Wilhelmina.
Okay.
But I was in the 10-20.
Many talents, I told y'all.
I was in the 10-20 division, which was supposed to be sizes 10 to 20, but
Okay.
I was a 6'8". The sample sizes were 6'8", so we were lying to the people. I'd be in the size 6, like at the Ashley Stewart and the Lane Bryant ads.
Yeah.
And they would have my clothes clamped behind
In the
me.
back. Oh, wow.
But in my mind, once I was told I was fat at that Jive Records, one, as an athlete, competitive. Oh, I bet you I'm not fat. I'm about to go be 2 pounds.
I'm gonna show you.
Show you how
Yeah.
But what that does is it ruins your mindset of what you really are supposed to look like, who you really are supposed to be.
Right.
So now I'm on this hamster wheel chase of trying to be something that I don't need to be.
Right.
Like even here, this picture,
Absolutely.
I'm 173.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
stage.
and that's amazing.
On stage.
Yeah.
Because it's muscle and all types of
all-
stuff.
yeah.
So I didn't understand that
Where
part.
that was coming from. Did that take you, did it take you down mentally, or were you just like motivated by the challenge? It motivated you initially.
But it was wrong.
It
was the
yes.
wrong motivation.
Yeah.
So it sent me into a spiral of unhealthy living.
Gotcha.
Because it was more so about get down for this shoot.
So you would just starve yourself.
It's called starve. Broccoli and chicken broth. Like these were my meals. Just starving. Or go 4 or 5 days without eating. Oh, we'll go do the remember the lemon cayenne pepper cleanse. The lemonade cleanse. I did
Yeah, that lemonade cleanse took a whole bunch of people out. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Eyeballs came through.
About to pass out.
Yeah.
Just so that I can come in like this in the pictures.
Right.
And then afterwards go eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
that's not healthy.
No, it's not healthy at all. The problem with the industry and focusing on what they think you should look like is that changes. So smaller is better, then rounder is better, and then bigger is better.
Correct.
And if you're still in it like you have been, you have longevity. That's not always the case.
Correct.
You have longevity. You've seen all of that.
I've seen it all.
What does that do to a young person just sort of coming in? They don't know where to go.
It jams you up.
It's the same kind of
It jams
stress.
you up. And when I watch, and listen, it's not totally gone. There is still an underlying of women need to look like this, look like that. And now it's even worse because now they're trying to create curves.
Right.
Whereas before you just needed to be really thin.
Right.
But
Small.
now it's about go,
Round.
you don't have a butt, go
Curve.
get one.
Curve.
You
Yes.
know, if your waist is not small enough, make it that way, which is super dangerous in my opinion, you know. Now I'm not opposed to anyone that wants to I've always been flat chested my whole life. So I want to get implants and they look really good, you know, or, oh, you know what? I've been trying to lose my stomach forever and I've had babies. So I do the mommy makeover.
No
problem.
Absolutely. No problem at all.
Listen,
That's right.
I think that these services are here. These doctors are brilliant and they're there to enhance you, make you look beautiful. That's all great.
And it's safe if you do it for the right reason,
Correct.
psycho-emotionally.
Yes. Like if I'm a mom and I'm like, you know what? I just need a tuna,
Right.
But if you're 22 years old and you're trying to be an Instagram model, that shouldn't be how you get to it. Your body's so youthful, you can create this in the gym.
Do they see success and that's why they do it? Do they see, okay, well, she did it and she was successful. If I do it, I'll be successful. Is that where it's coming from?
I think so, but I also think it's a vanity credit. I think people think the success of other people telling them how fantastic they are is success. So if I can get enough people to like me
and
or
comment.
tell me how fantastic I am, that's success. I'm winning.
Right.
When that's not success. Success is about how many people you can make successful.
Right.
That's what success, true success is.
Yeah.
But our youth, social media has just, don't get me started on social media. We don't even.
Oh, let's get started on social media. I know,
Social media
right?
has ruined everything. I come from an era where we didn't have
We didn't have it.
You had to wait till the magazine came
That's
out.
right.
Then that's it. You
That's
read, and like a regular person, you read articles and things of that
You had
nature.
to
You had to
pick up the
wait.
phone.
You had to call.
The text to the wall.
And if they wasn't available, they
You
wasn't
didn't get
available.
them. That's
you
right.
didn't get them.
We didn't even have email.
Listen, we had more patience than Job back in
You
the
had
day,
to.
child.
You had
So now it's killing our youth. The comparison, it's just so bad. And even with me not having social media, just imagine, I didn't have social media, and that sent me on a spiral of low self-esteem and low self-worth that I had to dig myself back up from. And Kiwan was part of that, because Kiwan came into the fold when I was a mess. I was dropped from the label and all this other stuff. I was having panic attacks. And he just came in very calm, like, you want to be skinny? That's ugly. That's how he'd be talking, like, that's not cute to me. I'll be like, so what you're telling me is I can have a booty?
Right.
That's all right to have a booty.
right.
He was like, that's ugly to not have a booty.
Right. Yeah.
So
let me show you how
he was
good.
like, let me show you how I shot, So then I started to maybe I can be curvy and get away with being fine, So the balance of him loving me unconditionally helped me to love me unconditionally as well.
Yeah.
So
the difference maker was you can stay in the industry because, like I said, we got to stay in power.
there.
You're still jamming right now. You can stay in that industry, but the difference maker is what you think about yourself.
Hello,
Not
somebody.
what everybody
Is
else
anybody
says.
there?
Right? Okay.
That's a word.
My mom used to say, "It's not what people call you; it's what you answer to that matters."
That's old school.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And it's very easier said than done.
it is.
Right?
That's right.
We would all love to wake up in the morning and believe the best about everything and all the time. That's the goal in our life.
Yeah.
That's why we have affirmations, we have therapy and the like.
Yeah.
But it really is the truth.
Yeah. And it almost seems like you have to go through something to reveal that truth to yourself.
Unfortunately.
You don't just get that one.
No, you don't.
And maybe it is for everybody to take their different roads and bear their own different cross, if you will, to learn a truth.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to kind of weave that back into it because the industry is not all bad. Really,
No.
the industry is getting a hard way to go right now. I tell you.
They say they earning it.
And they're earning it.
They earning it. It's a fool out here.
But is there any happier place for you than to just be ministering through your music and touching people in that way?
You want me to tell you something that's gonna sound groovy and special, or do you want the truth?
I want both versions, and we'll edit and post. No. Give me. No. Give me what's on your soul.
Okay. I'm gonna give you, because I don't know. It's just hard for me. I struggle being fake. It's a struggle.
Yeah. Well, let's don't. Why are we doing that? Let's not do that.
No, that's not the best place for me. In terms of my happiness.
Yeah.
Or happiness, yes, not my joy.
Oh, there's a difference
there's
between
a difference.
happiness. Joy is through and through.
Joy is different. Joy is sitting in the bleachers and watching my son be in his dream.
Wow.
Joy is sitting at recitals of Kingston play with both hands when he has autism and could not draw from one place across his body.
That's your younger son.
That's my youngest son.
Yeah.
Joy is going to church on New Year's Eve and the pastor points you out and says, Syleena, you're going to get this, or things like that.
That's
things
joy.
that I know that God is attached to.
That's joy.
That's where my joy lies. Joy is waking up and wow, there's a roof there. Right. That's joy.
Oh, that's a gratitude
Let me tell you something.
attached to that joy.
Let me tell you, gratitude is the basis of my joy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just walk around my house like, you did that, God. I snapped. You snapped.
Yeah.
Happiness is I get to sing songs that I love, that I wrote.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I do have joy when I'm on stage and I sing a song and a woman comes up to me afterwards and says, that song made me walk out of that relationship. Or I have cancer and this song is the song that ministered to me. That's joy. That's joy wrapped in purpose. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So happiness. And
then that turns into gratitude.
Hello, like, well, you see it. You see how God do the blueprint.
Y'all got
you see. Yeah. But I'm happy to be here. Yeah. Happiness is something that you can create that's tangible. Yeah. You know, oh, Nicole calls, Syleena, Dr. We got the date. Oh, I'm happy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm happy. Oh, I got to book it. Ooh, money. I'm happy. That makes me happy. Yes. You know, there's no joy in that because it's temporary. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But joy is lasting. And I love to sing. Don't get me wrong. Of course. There is something special in being able to open your mouth and sing. Mm-hmm. Not everybody can do that. So I am appreciative and I have great gratitude to God for that. But the industry, and I just have to be honest, keep it 100. Yeah.
No, please.
It has soiled the joy that I used to have when I did it when I wasn't a recording artist. Yeah. I used to have joy just singing around the house. Right. I don't sing around the house much anymore.
Is that
I don't sing in the shower.
And you think that's because of the experiences of the industry?
Yes.
That's the price that is paid in the industry. Do you think that's more common than not? Are there other people sort of is it just the minority of people like really super happy that they're doing it?
I have tons of friends and two of my closest friends is Leela James and Avery Sunshine. Two of my closest friends. And we will get on the phone. And just let this industry have it. You hear me?
Right.
and we're kind of in the same place. It doesn't mean that we don't love to sing, but you've taken the love because you've made us sing to be able to survive. So now we can't sing to enjoy.
Right.
When I was exactly right. When I was younger, I would sing just to hear myself. You know what I'm saying? Or the first time you record, you hear yourself on the radio. You're like, you know, or the first time you record a record, you know, and you play it back. It's like, oh my God, you know, or writing poems, because I'm a writer before I'm a singer. You know, writing books and plays and sitting in my room by myself and reading them. Yeah. That was joy. Yeah. When you attach, you have to do it for money to it. That changes the dynamic.
Talk about a writer, a poet. In the first track on Legacy, this album, Monsters in the Closet. Yeah. That's my jam.
That's a heavy tune.
It's got a bunch of messages in there.
It does.
At the very end, that message to Dad, hey, listen, I'm going to carry this legacy. I'm going to do it in a different way. Mm-hmm. The curse will end with me.
That's right.
I'm going to do this in a different way. But you also write this. And people thought she was happy as can be. But they didn't see my tears falling constantly. 'Cause trust me.
Hello, somebody.
Right?
All that I have came with
a large fee. Right.
So high, so steep to the point. So how can you be high and steep at the same time? So high, so steep to the point. It almost killed me. But God.
Yeah, but then you change it. That Brit, boom.
That's it. Yeah, so I walked through the valley.
Did it really? Was that just the right word for that part of the lyrics, or did it almost kill you?
It almost killed me. I've contemplated suicide. One time, one of my best friends caught me and my other best friend, and I laugh about it now. Actually, trying to kill ourselves with Benadryls and like just taking pills. We thought we were going to take ourselves out.
And that was a while. How long?
I was maybe 21, 20. I was tied to a man at the time who ended up being the catapult for chapter 1. I talked about him in chapter 1, and there were just times of such sorrow and sadness. You don't have to have a physical death to die.
That's right. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I just felt like I died inside a lot of times in this game. Yeah. You know,
and on the surface, nobody could see that.
No, because you don't get to be dead in front of people. Ooh, that was a word. Ooh, wow. You don't get to die in front of people. They don't have time for your death.
Right.
You know, they don't have the capacity to mourn you properly. Yeah. You know, and I just feel like without the foundation of God in my life,
but God,
that's how I was constantly I was able to resurrect myself. Yeah. You know, because of him from a child. you know, from my granddaddy being a deacon, from singing in the church.
Mm-hmm.
It's things of that, it's that foundation and basis that I know that God is always with me. And listen, I know nobody wants to say, child, it was tough. You know, I felt like I died. I've died a lot of times, but I'm glad I did. Certain things had to die in order for me to, you know, resurrect and be reborn in a better way.
Yeah, that's scriptural too. It talks about that. Right?
Yeah, so
that rebirth.
Yeah, you don't have to, it's not about a physical death, technically. You know what I'm saying? All the time, even though I did try when I was younger. But it's funny to me because now I can laugh about it. It wasn't funny then. Of course, you know, but it's funny now because when you look back at things that were you thought were so terrible, you know, when you're younger, you think everything is catastrophe.
I know, right? Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But when you're 48, you're like, child,
right.
That was nothing.
And glad that you didn't.
Yes.
End it physically.
Yes. But that song is the first song I wrote after my dad died.
Yeah.
And I cried profusely through performing it. I cried listening to it. I couldn't get it together.
Yeah.
That's the most truest feeling that I could ever have about this industry, about my dad, everything.
Yeah. And that's liberating to write a true lyric. Mm-hmm. There's no facade.
That's what I did with Legacy. I just said, I don't care what anybody thinks about my tone.
Yeah.
Too old, too textured.
Yeah.
Y'all getting ready to get all this here sounds and lyrics.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
What would you tell, if you could say words, talking about lyrics and just the words, what would you tell that 25-year-old Syleena?
Oh, that's such a good question. And I'm so glad you asked it because I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I would tell her to believe in herself no matter what.
Wow.
No matter what. So, and I know that's cliche, but in real life, if I could have just done that, I could have surpassed a lot of things because I was very indecisive about who I was.
Yeah.
So maybe they're right. Well, maybe they're right. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they're right. Mm-hmm. If I knew how to be solid in what I believed, and I believe people like Prince, Michael Jackson, the greats, Stevie Wonders, Ray Charles. Yeah. When you think of their stories, they were dead set on what they believed about themselves. And they became great because of it. Yeah. 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 And that greatness is coming across, I'm telling you. Legacy, y'all. Yay. Syleena Johnson, my songbird. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dr. Dave. Thank you for having me. Syleena Johnson, y'all. Yeah.